'Tis time for some show time. It is time.
Not enough stretching. Are we on? We're on, aren't we? We're on. Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi. Hello, everybody. So it's Thursday. We're all here.
We're heading down. We're on the down slope. Geez.
What?
Why? Facebook has decided that we can't show anything.
Why?
I don't know, because we haven't even said anything yet. But like both groups are saying, nope, you can't.
What I said? I said nothing. I just said hi, good morning. That's all I said. God, why you got to be like that, Facebook?
I don't know. So if you were
like
trying
that, Zuckerberg?
No, I know if you're on Facebook on our page, then it's probably working. If you're in one of our groups, it is saying that it is not.
Jerks.
So I don't even know why, because we just hadn't even said anything.
Because you know, it's all
maybe
it's
rules. Mad at my title. Is it mad at the title?
What's the title? What's Biden takes reporter questions and Rashida Tlaib is a monster? I mean, there's
nothing mad at the title.
Nothing inaccurate about that.
Nothing inaccurate. Tame with that.
I know, compared to the way she talked about her on Twitter yesterday, or to her, the way she talked to her.
I did say things to her on Twitter.
Said the things on Twitter yesterday, and I was very proud of her. I like mean mock. I really do. I like it when mock comes out and she's like,
I have zero tolerance for her. Zero
F's this week. You guys make sure that you're going to our website at chicksontheright.com. And, you know, come to think of it, speaking of socials, make sure you're going to our socials. You can go to chicksontheright.com/links. You can find all the places where you can see all of our socials and whatnot. We have a lot of socials. We've been around a long time, you guys. Long time. Some guy yesterday out on Instagram, he said something about us not having any substance.
Really?
That we don't actually say anything. And I told him that he should check out our book because we were published by Random House in 2014. He should read that book and get back to me about the substance. I was going to say go suck a bowl, but then I decided that probably didn't have a lot of substance. So I told him to go read our book.
Maybe you should have said, go read our book and then go suck a bowl.
Yeah, that's true. That would have had more substance to it.
Double up on it.
Double up. Yeah.
All right. So lots to get to as usual. And we're going to just sort of get right into it, because we should mention right out of the gate that Jim Jordan lost a second vote. And in fact, he lost even harder the second day. So initially, he was short by 20, and then yesterday he was short by 22 votes. So he's going in the wrong direction on the vote. We'll get to video about that later in the show, but that has happened. And now there's all this chitter chatter about, well, let's just do a thing where we make Patrick McHenry the guy through January. And so, but that also will require a change in the rules, and it's going to require, plenty of agreement about that. And I don't know that agreement is, I don't know that there is agreement about that. I know, right?
That's funny. We agreeing on things. That's cute. They're there.
They're there. That's cute. So Republicans in a complete state of disarray as per usual. And so we'll show some videos about that from one of the people that keeps voting against him. Harvard kids right now, very, 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 very mad. And they continue to be all like pro-Hamas. Apparently they're at Harvard. So they are now holding one of those die-ins, which is so dumb. It's like when they just go and lay down on the ground and they're like, this is our protest. Look at us go. We're protesting. And the flyer that went around about, getting people together for the die-in, the flyer said 800 killed by Israeli airstrike on the hospital.
My God.
So not only are they lying about the hospital blast being the fault of terrorists, but they're also just randomly upping the number of people killed in the blast, when in fact, that number has been downgraded to several dozen.
Right.
Because the hospital itself is still intact, and it was really mostly the parking lot that got hit. So Harvard, man, what are you doing?
Yeah. They totally suck. Yeah. And so they're protesting by laying down in the grass outside. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. Which I'm so hoping for a rainstorm, like just really, really hoping for it.
We used to just call that like laying down in the grass and like having and like studying outside in the grass. You guys remember that?
It's a whole new
Now
way
they
now.
call it like protesting, having a
Right.
die-in. That's what
It's a
they're doing.
die-in. Yeah. So that is the thing that happened. Also, this war, whether anybody likes it or not, is escalating. So the IDF hit some Hezbollah military targets in Lebanon, or they're in the process of doing that now, or overnight they've done that. So that's happening, and so it is going to escalate. And I know that the Prime Minister of UK is in Israel now, Rishi Sunak or whatever his name is. So he's going to be speaking to Netanyahu this morning, and so we'll see if his visit goes any differently than Biden's visit. We've got a lot to show you from that visit yesterday. Wow. And then also in the aftermath of some of these people being loud and proud about their pro-Hamas views, there's a lot of people who have lost job offers, a lot of people who have been fired from positions, which is a good thing. And now we discover that there is a woman by the name of Nejwa Ali who was hired during the Trump administration at the Department of Homeland Security. She has now been placed on leave. I don't know whether that leave is paid or not, but she is on leave right now because she said, right after the aftermath of the Hamas attacks, she said, F Israel. And she also posted some very, very pro-Hamas stuff. She was in charge, you guys, of asylum seeker vetting.
Yeah, that makes me feel safe. I guarantee you she's probably still getting paid.
That really pisses me off because that means we're paying this woman to spout off her like anti-Israel nonsense. And the fact that she's in charge of vetting when she herself was not vetted and she was a former spokesperson for the PLO, like, what are you doing, Department of Homeland Security? What are you doing?
Yeah, I think we know what they're doing. Jack squat.
My God.
I mean, well, think about it. It's like the Department of Homeland Security right now is pretty much useless anyway. But I mean, the fact that they've got somebody like her in charge, it just kind of tells you guys, we're not safe. I mean, nobody is safe.
When the Department of Homeland Security can't vet a person who themselves spoke up for a once claimed terrorist organization, maybe you're not doing things right.
Yeah, and then you got this administration saying, you know what, we need to ban assault weapons. You never needed an AR-15 more than ever. You know? It's like, so when they tell you that you don't need guns, it's I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to ignore you now. Yeah. It's like this at no time should anybody in this administration tell me that I don't need guns or that they need to poo-poo the Second Amendment. I'm going to give you the big fat middle finger at this point. More than ever, we need the Second Amendment. More than ever.
I mean, what in the world, you guys? And people are all. I saw some comments on Twitter like, "Oh my God, why does Biden allow these kind of people in his administration?" Again, she was hired when Trump was president. It's not even about the presidents; they're not doing the direct hiring.
Right,
it's the fact that our agencies are so completely broken. I mean, just utterly and completely broken.
Oh my God, yeah.
So anyway, so that is that. I'm going to embiggen the screen for a moment because I want everybody to see the air fan sitting next to you right now. This, thank you, Vanna.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
This is the Eden Pure 360 air fan. And we've shown it to you before, but we just want to remind everybody that if you haven't gotten one for yourself, you can save over $25. You'll get free shipping when you go to EdenPureDeals.com and use code, and make sure you get this code right, Chicks360, all smushed together, Chicks360 at EdenPureDeals.com. So I wanted to tell people, because remember how, I've been marveling at the fact that this not only heats and cools rooms up to 1,000 square feet, but also show people how it doesn't have blades. Can you show people how, like, if you look on the inside of it?
Yeah, you can look on, see right here. I can put my hand right here.
You can put your hand right in there. And so I've always been like, what the heck? How does this even work? Because the force of the air that comes out of that thing is pretty remarkable. And it's got like, I think 9, I want to make sure I get this right. It's got temperature settings from between 40 to 90 degrees. So there's 10 different fan levels. And the way that it works, I don't even know if I understand the magic even when I read about the magic, but here's how they say it works. The heating function specifically uses infrared heat from a specially treated circular copper PTC heating element so that it doesn't dry out the air and it evenly heats an entire room from floor to ceiling. And then the way it cools is that there's an airflow circulator mode that creates a really rapid cooling sensation with its jet-like propulsion of air that fully circulates air in a room in seconds. It's amazing. That's all I can tell you. That's a lot of technical stuff that I don't really understand, but like
And
for
it's not
those
very
who might,
big, so you can put it on like I have it just on my little side table, and they're awesome.
I mean, it does the things, you guys.
Mhm.
So if you haven't gotten one yet, get one now before the deal is over. EdenPureDeals.com, code Chicks360. Okay, let's get into Biden, who we know, of course, we talked about this yesterday. He visited Netanyahu, made a speech. There were parts of the speech that were fine, like where he had some strong moments. He had some empathetic moments. And then there were moments that were not fine. And so first we're going to show the moment where he is using what I think he and his speechwriters think is an effective deterrent to Iran, to Hezbollah, to whoever. And that is the word don't. Do you feel like that's a strong deterrent?
No, he said that a million times. This is what he's been doing since the beginning of this. The word don't. Yeah.
I just feel like if there were, and you know what, if Trump were president right now, he would not do that. Like his speech would say something like, if you lay a hand on an American,
I'm going to kick
you
your
will
ass.
pay. Like
Yeah,
something strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're going to come at you with the force of like you would not like we're coming at you with all guns blazing is basically what we're going to do. We're going to level you.
Yeah, I mean, just like something stronger than don't. But this is Biden's go-to. Here he is.
My message to any state or any other hostile actor thinking about attacking Israel remains the same as it was a week ago. Don't.
I'm sorry, but that just is not.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a mom with a toddler, you know?
Yeah.
Like, honey, don't.
I'm going to give you count to 3. I'm going to count to 3.
We're going to put you in timeout. Don't.
That's what it feels like to me. It's just
I
not.
know. And
it's
then
like, remember when Kamala said, don't come to all the migrants?
Mm-hmm.
Look how well that worked out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just not threatening at all. And he's not threatening to begin with. Yeah. So when you combine the two, it's not working.
No, it's just not at all. He also has committed 100 million more of our dollars to go to Palestinians. Here he is saying that.
$100 million in new U.S. funding for humanitarian assistance in both Gaza and the West Bank.
That's going directly to terror, just so everybody knows.
That's the thing. You can say that, but like, what's the plan? What's the plan of keeping it out of the hands of Hamas?
It's going directly to terror. That's exactly where it's going. At least that's how I feel about it. I mean, this is when I saw that yesterday, I was like, oh, great. I mean, it's kind of like the whole Iran thing, you know? It's like we're going to give money or just like release sanctions. It's like, oh no, it's going to be used for humanitarian bullshit. It's like we know exactly where that money's going. People with actual brains know exactly where that money is going. You think Hamas, like you think that if we send it to Palestinians, you think that it's going to end up in the right hands? Give me a break.
Has it ever? Has it
ever? Because that's precisely where the money has gone to this day. Like that's exactly what they've done. They've taken it on all those guys sitting in Qatar are like in suits, living large, spending that money while people starve. I mean,
imagine if Hamas, as a government of the Palestinians, imagine if they actually had used all the money to create, because they are prime beachfront property. Imagine if they would have used the money to actually create wealth and prosperity and infrastructure in their own freaking country and just decided, you know what, we're just going to let Israel just do its thing. We're going to do our thing. And then Israel would be like, great. Let's just get along. How about that? We'll stop the blockades. You stop the rockets. It'll be awesome.
You
but
guys
this never happens.
Yeah. You guys stop being jackhole terrorists. Use that money the way that it was supposed to be used for. But instead they didn't because they're terrorists.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to be terrorists. So we're going to give them all this money and they're going to use it for the same crap that they've always used it for. We're kidding ourselves if we think otherwise. I just cannot believe that he's doing this. It's absurd.
Well, remember, this is who you're dealing with. This is also from that same visit. This is Biden attempting to tell some kind of story.
You know,
Oh, God.
years ago, I asked the Secretary of State when he and I were working in the Senate to write something for him, and he said, he wrote a line that I think is appropriate. He said, it's not, we lead, not just, well, I won't go into it. I'll wait later.
Anyway.
Taking too much time.
Anyway.
What the hell was that?
He said anyway like 15 times yesterday.
Oh my God. And then, he was there. I think he was on the ground in Israel for like 6 hours tops. And then he got right back on Air Force One to head back home. And KJP, you guys, she showed her face. She was on the flight with him. And he did take some questions from reporters. The first thing that he said was just a terrible choice of words. I'll see if you guys pick it up.
Are upset about the hospital and don't necessarily believe you or the Israelis that they didn't have anything to do with it. Do you have a message to the people in the streets right now?
Well, I can understand why in this circumstance they wouldn't believe. I can understand that. But I would not, you notice I don't say things like that unless I have faith in the source from which I've gotten it. Our Defense Department says it's highly unlikely that it was Israelis, but if a different footprint, and they've intercepted some anyway. So that's why, if you notice, I didn't say it first. I wanted to make sure that I knew. And look, and I'm not suggesting that Hamas deliberately did it either. That's that old thing. Got to learn how to shoot straight.
What? Oh my God.
You got to learn how to shoot straight, you guys.
Oh my God.
That's what he said to Hamas.
Holy crap. This guy.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what he said.
Okay. We're dealing with terrorists, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. And it's I'm not gonna say out loud that terrorists would terrorist. They did.
This is what equivocating looks like. This is not strength. Nothing about that you see right now is strength.
Right. It's like, why would you say out loud the terrorists are going to terrorist? Why would you say that out loud? I mean, dude, get some balls.
God. And then look at Blinken in the background. He's like, oh God.
Look, he's going to do a Homer Simpson in like 1 second. He's like, oh God, I can't with this guy. And they all were doing that on the plane. When he was talking, the whole time he was on the plane, they were all just completely uneasy. They were like, listen, he never works for 6 hours straight, ever.
The time change is a big thing.
He needs his pudding. He's low in blood sugar. We can't have this. He's going to say something stupid because he says something stupid every half hour. And so we're just waiting for a blunder. It's going to be bad. And they're all just bracing. You can tell they're all bracing themselves. Kirby was doing it. All of them were doing it on the plane.
Was Kirby there? I didn't even see him.
I saw Kirby in the background.
Okay.
Yep.
He also was asked, what's the deal with like American hostages? Is there any attempt to get folks back? Here he is on that.
What about getting people out?
Guys, we got
people evacuated.
The answer is we're going to get people out, but I'm not going to go into any detail with you now.
All right, we got to wrap up, guys. We got to wrap it up.
Oh, there's Kirby peeking out from behind
Kirby,
KJP.
Yeah. KJP looks like she's ready to go to bed. She's already washed her face. She's got her glasses on, her pajamas. She's ready to go to bed.
She really does. Now, do you feel better about the hostages now that Biden has said we're going to get those people out?
Nope.
Then he was asked because apparently he had said something about being blunt with Netanyahu, and so he was asked about that, and his answer was typical weird Biden.
So you were very blunt with the Israelis on the need to get humanitarian aid to Gaza, or what exactly?
On everything. I was very blunt about the need to support getting humanitarian aid to Gaza.
Oh my God. I'm just going to repeat your question is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to repeat it because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. God, he's got handlers everywhere. I mean, this guy is a complete disgrace.
They're all just bracing themselves for
they're like
what's to
and
come.
You saw Kirby back there. He was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit! Oh god!
What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say?
Oh my god! Yeah."
Then he was asked what he makes of the whole Jim Jordan speaker hullabaloo, and his answer, of course, on that is also weird. Here he is.
You joked about the House. Do you have any view of Jim Jordan and his predicament?
Do I have any what?
Do you have a view of Jim Jordan's current predicament, unable to secure the speakership?
I ache for him. No. Zero. None. No.
Mr. President?
How about the hospital, sir? People.
He's like, "Who's Jim Jordan? Who's that?"
Do I know him? I don't know.
I've never met the guy. I don't know who you're talking about. Visiting angels, America's choice and home care. Go to bed, Jill. Let's go to bed.
Well, you know what? That's interesting that you say that, because that about is when he had enough. So he seemed like he was going to take one more question, but then I don't think he liked the question. And so here's what happened.
Are the Israelis operating within the rules of war that you talked about last week being so important?
Good talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
God.
it.
I swear. It's like that your grandpa, when you're chit-chatting with your grandpa, he's sitting in his chair, he's in his recliner, like the whole family's around, and he's like, "I'm done talking. I'm sick of this crap. Done talking." And he basically puts a lid on the conversation. You know how grandparents do that. Like they have no filter. They're done with your crap. They don't want to talk to anybody in the family anymore. Like they're done for the night. They just want to watch. They want to watch their stories now.
Right, their stories.
Yeah. They're done.
Oh my gosh. Leah, it's so good for you to be with us. Leah says Biden won't give Israel bunker buster bombs if Israel doesn't allow Hamas to restock from humanitarian aid. Nice, huh? America won't allow Israel to do what's needed. Biden lied from day one. Surprise. Raise your hand if you're surprised.
Not surprised. We should not be giving any aid to them at all. There should be no aid. I'm just astounded by that. Why are we giving them money? Why are we doing that? Zero. First of all, we don't have it. Second of all, we've been giving them money for forever, and it's gone towards terrorism. And now look what's happening. Like I don't think that a Trump would have done this. And I know that a DeSantis wouldn't have done it.
Mm-hmm.
So the guys on our side, Republican in office, would have never done what Joe Biden is doing right now. It's disgraceful. We do not have the money. We should not be giving it to Palestinians. We should not be doing that. Disgraceful.
And at what point does it genuinely run out? Because we're going to be Venezuela before we know it.
Right.
I mean, this is just batshit what we're doing now.
Shit.
Shelly, thank you so much. She says he would have told Churchill that he needed to get humanitarian assistance to the Nazis. Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll switch gears for just a minute to get to the speaker stuff that's happening. Actually, but first, can we just remind everybody how yummy Omaha steaks are?
So yummy.
And you know what else is yummy from Omaha steaks is the chicken. Do you know how sick I am of chicken being like totally not like a chicken? Like you get chicken from a grocery store and each breast is like 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And there's no chicken that exists like that.
Right. They plump it full of all sorts of garbage.
Hormones and water and like they look ridiculous. They taste rubbery and gross. You never have to worry about that when you get chickens from Omaha Steaks. And by the way, what did we have the last weekend? Ron made the bacon wrapped pork chops.
Oh, the pork chops are extraordinary from Omaha Steaks.
I had not had those yet.
My mother-in-law, that's her favorite. We always get her the pork chops and then the apple tartlets. She is obsessed with the pork chops. God. Yeah.
They were, oh my God, they were so good. So good.
They are.
And you guys, they are still doing their semi-annual sale right now. So you can save 50% on Omaha Steaks. Plus, when you use code CHICKS at checkout, you get another $30 off. This is just during their semi-annual sale, so hurry. If you have not stocked up, you've not gotten your freezer full of Omaha Steaks goodness, do it now. omahasteaks.com. Use code CHICKS, and you're going to get that extra $30 off.
Also, keep in mind, the holidays are coming up. I'm putting my tree up November 1st.
Of course
I'm serious.
you are.
I'm just putting that out there. So people are going to start coming to your house. It's good to have that stuff in the freezer.
It's very good.
Right.
It's very good to be stocked up. Okay, so Don Bacon is one of the representatives who has consistently voted against Jordan and who's like one of those jerky holdouts. And now he's all mad because apparently his wife is getting texts from people that are being like mean to her about it. And he's like, that's beyond the pale, which it is. I mean, nobody should be texting his wife. That's freaking whack. And I hate it when people from our side do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's not okay.
But regardless, he and the other people that are holding up this vote are just making me want to strangle everybody. So here he is saying where they are right now.
So, in fact, Jordan is doing worse than he did yesterday. He had fewer votes than he did yesterday. A spokesman for Jordan said he's not dropping out. We're going to keep going. Do you see Jordan getting to 217 anytime soon, or do you think he's going to keep doing worse and worse?
I believe he's done. He needs to withdraw from this. He's going to lose more votes tomorrow. I know it. Already have. I know who's going to cross over and change. He doesn't have any pathway forward to 217. And there's two different.
It blows me away that he's losing votes now. You know what I mean? Like that. It's just
what are we doing?
I know, it's crazy. It is such a middle school thing. It's like people are voting based on, well, I don't like you and I don't like you. Check this box if you like me. I mean, this is what's happening in the Republican Party. And it's so stupid.
And there was somebody who voted like for a whole other person, Granger, I think. God. Just like randomly. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that makes everybody hate the Republican Party.
Right.
And what do? They just keep right on. They don't listen to everybody screaming at them to get a speaker and just be done with this. Nope. They just keep doing what everybody keeps telling them not to do. And this is like what Republicans are famous for.
Yeah. And it's the people that you think are the ones who are watching out for you. It's a lot of those people. Yeah, it should make you so effing mad. I mean, these are the people that you thought would get in and do the right thing for you. I mean, honestly, they all need to get the F out. I'm just so sick of them. It doesn't sound
like Jim Jordan has any intention of bowing out, at least not yet. Here's what he said when he was caught up with in the hallway.
And I just want to ask you about that last vote and your confidence so far now after a second vote.
We got 200 of our colleagues who are before us, 2 ballots now. This is right where Speaker McCarthy was in the process, so we're just going to keep talking to members.
We're just going to keep talking to members, he says.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's trying.
I just
over them.
Was the freaking plan?
Right. There is no plan. No plan. There was never a plan.
That's the problem.
Toddlers. All of them are toddlers. They're all self-centered toddlers.
Yep, exactly. Okay, going back to this whole protest and Israel and all the conflict that's happening right now, we've seen on all the college campuses, all throughout the streets, in big cities, there's been pro-Palestinian protests like crazy. And now some of the people who are joining in on the protests are Jews. So it's all these Israelis for Palestine and all just insane people. And these are the people, like when you always wonder, why do Jews vote for Democrat? These are the ones that do, right?
It's
the
them.
Ones that go and protest. Because just like that one guy said on Bill Maher, this is like the black group for KKK. This is how much sense that makes. But they're a loud voice. And of course, Rashida Tlaib is now praising them and just being like, thank you for standing with us. I mean, it's just disgusting. And so we've got a lot to show because the Capitol was breached yesterday. There was essentially an insurrection by a lot of these protesters. But before we get to that, Greg Gutfeld was talking about one of the things that Biden said during his time in Israel yesterday was that it had become clear to him that it was not Israelis that had bombed the hospital. It was, in fact, the other team. And Greg Gutfeld took issue with that statement, as well he should have. And here's what he said.
Part of that thing is when he referred to Hamas as the other team.
Yes.
This isn't pickleball.
Right.
It's war. I mean, it's like these are not two sides with equal merit and equal dishonor. It's terrorists versus Israel. That little phrase really stuck with me. I know that the media would prefer brave revolutionaries versus evil colonizers. But remember, it was Barack Obama referred to ISIS as the JV team. So maybe it's just Democrats that do this. And enough with the ceasefire talk. We had a ceasefire. It was on October 6th. You know, you can't break a ceasefire, wage war, and then call a ceasefire. The era of the free punch is over. Israel has decided, we've decided, so it's not your choice anymore, protesters. I mean, Jewish protesters calling for a ceasefire is like the typical leftist pleading not to arrest their mugger because he had a bad childhood. It's not going to work. You don't have a say over the justice that will be enacted because you weren't the one affected by it.
Oh my God, I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that so great? It was perfect.
It was great.
A lot of people are saying that Rashida Tlaib herself was the instigator of yesterday's entrance into the Capitol, insurrection.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. We need to get that chick out of there. Seriously.
Gosh, she's so awful.
I'm over her, and she is an instigator. 100%, I agree.
She took to the streets of DC to rally up her and rile up her supporters, and she cried and carried on, and it was just disgusting. Here she is.
God, yeah, they're trying to politicize it. So what about the kids who have been kidnapped? What about those kids who are right now? What about that sweet little handicapped girl that requires 24-hour care that was taken by Hamas? What about that little girl? What about
she's dead?
Oh, she's dead.
She and her father. They announced that yesterday that they've been killed.
Is she crying for her? Is she crying for her? Was she crying for her? Just curious. Okay, there's no tears for her. I don't know if there are even tears there at all. I need to get close enough to find out if she was crying Merrick Garland tears or real tears. I couldn't tell because I wasn't close enough to see. But I mean, honestly, I can't with her. It's like, and she did instigate all the stuff going into the Capitol, and I know we're going to get to that, but that looked like a damn insurrection to me.
Yeah. Well, this is why I cussed her out on Twitter. Because I just, when I saw her crying, and I was just like, oh my God, you horrible hag. I mean, I had just had it. So I said a lot of words.
Yeah, it's like when you are on the side of terrorists, you have no business being in a leadership position for the United States of America. No business. I'm just so tired of this. I'm tired of people. Can you imagine, like, during World War II, if one of our leaders would have been like, I'm on the side of the Nazis, what would have happened to that person? Seriously, what would we have done? That's essentially what she's doing. That's essentially what these people are doing. I'm so tired of it. She is a disgrace to America.
It's just the worst.
Absolutely the worst. And that's what these people are siding with Nazis. Oh my God. I just can't. It's gross.
Yeah. I don't know if she's, because you heard at the very beginning of that she was just like, if you think it's okay to, for Israel to bomb hospitals, that didn't freaking happen.
It was a lie. Yeah. And she kept perpetuating it. Even after she knew that it was a falsehood,
right.
She kept going with it. She kept running with it. And
I
that's
think
okay.
She still is.
Oh,
and
she
at
is.
least, I mean, I don't want to, I hate to give Ilhan Omar credit for anything, but at least she has walked her comments back and said, okay, so it looks like, we were wrong. We were getting not good reporting on this. And so everybody just needs to be super careful. Well, yeah, maybe take your freaking advice.
Rashida didn't. And then that led all those people to go into the Capitol, which looked like an insurrection to me. So is Liz Cheney and Adam the Crybaby, are they going to do like an ABC special on this?
Yeah, Jesse Waters talked about how she instigated it and showed some footage of what happened on the inside, and then also some of the arrests that were made. Here it is.
Squad had whipped the crowd into a frenzy. Next thing you know, they marched right into the Capitol.
Unreal. Okay, so are they going to spend...
The protesters would have kicked their feet up on the speaker's desk, but we don't have a speaker. And earlier in the day, Hamas sympathizers obstructed an official government proceeding.
Oh, my God.
How many bombs need to be dropped on Gaza before we go for a ceasefire? How many children need to be killed? Our families are dying. Our families are dying.
awful. Yeah. So are these people going to spend like a, unbelievable amount of time, like 20 plus years in prison for that?
Yeah, I'm sure they're all out. You know what I
This
mean? They're
is the
probably
thing.
all out.
The J6 people are like, WTF.
Right.
Well, hello. It's unreal, right? Because it looked very similar, didn't it?
Yeah, if they're disrupting official proceedings, if they're going into Capitol buildings, I don't, and that's why Marjorie Taylor Greene was out there saying the things.
Arresting these people. This is an insurrection. Throw these people out. Like, what is happening?
She's not wrong. She is not wrong. I know.
I mean, we're just trying to figure out what the rules are. Like, what's an insurrection? What's not an insurrection?
Yeah.
It's only an insurrection if it's on if it has to do with an election, or
right.
I don't
exactly. Or if it's against people who claim to be right wingers. And so like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
So if you want to see some super, super crazy, the Jewish people who are protesting, which again, this is the most mind-numbingly idiotic, masochistic behavior I've ever seen. But here are some of the sights and sounds from some of those protests.
I don't understand.
We have corrupt, warmongering governments taking advantage of our very real pain and fear to pursue their genocidal agendas. We're seeing the American government running the same playbook it always has, sending money, weapons, and giving a green light to the Israeli government, and they're doing it all in our Jewish name.
Jewish safety cannot and does not come at the expense of Palestinian lives.
Okay.
Who's
my family are Holocaust refugees. Whatever grief we're feeling now, I feel the same way, that it can't be weaponized in our name and harming an already devastated population in Gaza, especially with white phosphorus.
God. I just cannot.
Isn't it amazing?
It is remarkable.
If it is not obvious that Palestinian and Israeli safety are intertwined and you cannot have one without the other, we're hearing our Israeli friends, while burying their loved ones, begging for their government to stop the violence, stop the madness, say that murdering an entire people, inflicting genocide on entire people will not bring Israeli safety, and in fact it will escalate and only make things worse.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
The people of Palestine must be allowed to return to their homes. They must be no longer denied safety. They must no longer be held in an open-air prison on the Gaza Strip. They must no longer be starved of food and water.
Remember that we can grieve the Israeli lives lost while not standing with a apartheid state that has been actively oppressing Palestine for 75 years.
So how long are they going to stay in jail, though, really?
We are here
like 2 hours
as American Jews to tell our government, not in our name.
Not in our name. Not in our name.
There's so many.
Yeah, so many with masks on.
What in the world?
God,
yeah, most of the people in the Capitol were masked. I saw.
They were all vaccinated too. All of everybody's vaccinated. You guys, I swear.
It's just
cannot. Okay, so you and I had a discussion about this in pre-show, and your dad is Jewish, and so you have a better handle on this than I do, obviously. But Judaism is not just a religion; it's an ethnicity, and you had to.
A lot of times, it cannot be extricated. Those two things cannot be extricated.
Right. And so, because I'm like, listen, it's kind of like, because I try to point out to you, I'm like, it's like people, because I know a lot of people who are Catholics. And they're not really they're not Christian. You know what I mean? They're not like Jesus loving people like like a lot of Jesus loving people that I know. They're not Christian, like real Christians who read the Bible and are, who get what it's like to have a relationship with Jesus. They're just Catholic, and there's a difference. I mean, like, I know it. This is not my first rodeo. I get it. There's a difference. And you pointed out to me, Amy Jo, it's different. It's different when you're Jewish, because Judaism is an ethnicity and it's a religion, and you're right. You can't extricate. It's like,
well, and it's only because, you see some people immediately going, well, those people aren't really Jewish. Well, I mean, that could be true. That could be true that some of them are converted. They've converted into Judaism, but there is a lot of Jewishness that is ethnic. And so you can't just kind of resort to, well, those people are ginos, for lack of a better word.
Exactly.
Because you can't really extricate some of those two things from one another. So it truly is the most masochistic group of people ever. Ever. It's just incredible. It's incredible to see it.
It's crazy. It's like, and you want to say to them, go over there and live as a Jewish person, and then see how you feel about all of this, because it's easy to say that living in the United States of America, where you're warm and fuzzy over here and you're able to protest and say all the things and do all the things, and then see how you feel about this. Ask Leah how she feels.
Oh, which reminds me, I do have some people to thank. Lori Weens, thank you. Lori says, now every time I hear a Visiting Angels commercial on TV, I think of the chicks. Anybody else? Michelle Boyd, thank you. Michelle says, God bless Jim Jordan for pushing forward. Maybe if we act like we don't want Jim Jordan for speaker, they'll vote him out. They'll vote for him out of spite. Reverse psychology. You know what? I'm happy to try anything at this point.
Leah actually said, sorry, Daisy, we have a lot of those same stupid Jews over here.
Yeah.
God,
I had some of those same protests in Israel, if you can imagine. It's amazing.
Leah, I just cannot believe that.
Yeah. Leah, also, thank you. Leah said, FYI, Barzilai Hospital in Ashkelon was hit by 4 Hamas rockets. Is Rashida Tlaib crying over that hospital? Great point.
Is a great point.
And Andrea Cleaver, thank you. Andrea says, 2 separate judicial systems. Faux show. These people will never be treated like J6 patriots. Unfortunately, you're probably right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Lastly, in this group, I wanted to show a statement that was made, and I'm just going to read it for people who are listening and not watching. I'll read it quickly. Innocent Israelis were the victims of a terrorist attack that resulted in the largest loss of Jewish lives since the Holocaust. Now we know that the tragedy at the Gaza hospital was not caused by Israel. I grieve for every innocent person and brave Israeli soldier killed since Hamas started this war. If it was not for the horrific attacks by Hamas terrorists, thousands of innocent Israelis and Palestinians would still be alive today. Now is not the time to talk about a ceasefire. We must support Israel in their efforts to eliminate the Hamas terrorists who slaughtered innocent men, women, and children. Hamas does not want peace. They want to destroy Israel. We can talk about a ceasefire after Hamas is neutralized. In the meantime, I look forward to working with my colleagues in the Senate to quickly deliver the aid our ally Israel needs, and this includes confirming Ambassador nominee Jack Lew as soon as possible. This statement is amazingly from John Fetterman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. It's like he is like speaking reason. Like, what is that? What is even happening?
I could not believe my eyes
yesterday. I know. He was speaking out against the squad yesterday.
Yeah.
What is happening, you guys?
Right?
Like, maybe the comfortable clothes are helping. What is it?
Maybe the stroke recovery is actually turning him
into a sensible man,
into a sensible person.
I don't understand it.
I couldn't believe it.
I know. I mean,
and then there was video of him making similar statements. So this was not a fluke. Like when they caught up with him in the hallway, he said pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, his language and speech is getting much, 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 much better.
Yeah.
So he's getting a lot of improvement.
This is crazy.
I know. When I'm agreeing with him that much, I'm always like, I need to go take a shower.
The Carhartt sweatshirts, you guys. It's all the Carhartt sweatshirts.
Yeah. Okay, and we all know, we talked about this yesterday too, just the egregiousness of so many people in the media who jumped to conclusions, who ran with reporting because they wanted to be first, and it was no more egregious than the New York Times, because look at how many times they had to change their headline. Like, this is remarkable, right? So their initial report said, Israeli strike kills hundreds in hospital, Palestinians say.
Oh my God.
And then a little bit later, at least 500 dead in strike on Gaza hospital, Palestinians say. And then lastly, when they finally realized what actually happened, they said at least 500 dead in blast at Gaza hospital, Palestinians say.
Way to journalism there.
Oh my God.
New York Times. God, these people.
And now they're gonna change it again, I'm sure, to say several dozen dead in blast at Gaza hospital, Palestinians say.
Yeah.
Maybe don't trust Hamas for your news.
Yeah.
Idiot.
But listen, like, they all did it. It's not just the New York Times. They all freaking did it. They all just jumped on the story and they didn't do any due diligence or journalisming, and they all did it. Yep. And so shame on it. This is why you have to just like step back and go, what's actually happening here? And by the way, terrorists are running the propaganda show. This is what they're doing.
Yeah,
Hamas we'll get to that, I know.
Yeah, we've got some really good evidence of that. And then Brian Stelter, who, used to work for, which one was it? MSNBC? It doesn't even matter.
I think he was MSNBC.
Okay. So I think he does some stuff for like Vanity Fair. He's like a professor somewhere, whatever. He's no longer a journalist. And so now it's super easy for him to criticize journalism, and particularly how journalists all over reacted to this hospital thing. So he was on with Dan Abrams on whatever station that is, News Nation or whatever. And Brian Stelter is 100% right in this clip. It's just that he has no self-awareness about his own contributions to fake news, to disinformation back when he was journalisming. But that said, he's absolutely right here.
Sometimes, Dan, you're out there criticizing the media, and I want to defend the media, but there is no defense here. This was an atrocious series of mistakes by many different major newsrooms all around the same time on Tuesday. And unfortunately, I don't think there's been enough follow-up or accountability to make sure it doesn't happen again. I've noticed oftentimes in breaking news stories, breaking news scenarios, when information is lowest, interest is highest. And by the time we actually know the facts, people move on. Well, this was one of those cases, but it was even worse because when the stakes are highest, it seems the standards were the lowest. And it should be the opposite. The standards should be the highest when the stakes are as high as they are right now.
What are you most concerned about in terms of the media coverage that we've seen so far?
I don't know why this was called a strike right away. Why not an apparent explosion? I don't know why reporters went with those huge reports of deaths, hundreds of alleged deaths, when it had only been 30 or 60 minutes since the explosion. Common sense would indicate that we didn't know yet how many people might have died. There is no doubt this was a tragedy at the hospital, but there was this rush to judgment based on a one-sided story from whatever the opposite of a reliable source is. And that's what was so disturbing about Tuesday. And like I said, because there hasn't been a follow-up, a kind of series of accountability, I'm worried that it could keep happening.
Okay, so it was CNN that he was on, and he would have done the same dang thing when he was on CNN. He would have done the exact same thing. So it's like, hi, it's you. You were the problem with you. Right? But it's interesting that he gets to say now that he's out of it. Oh my God, so bad that they did that. So bad. Wow. Oh my God, you're part of the you were the problem, dude. You're the thumb that was the problem.
Yes, right. But it is weird. Somebody said, God, it feels really weird to agree with both Fetterman and Potato Head
on the
all
same
at the same
day.
time.
And I'm getting a migraine. I can't. It's so weird. It feels so dirty. I'm gonna have to take another shower.
But I mean, I would hope that after this, people in the media would start to second guess reports that they're getting from Hamas. And if you need any further proof that Hamas is entirely about propaganda, entirely, this girl, I don't know who she is, this young woman, sat down with the leader of Hamas, presumably in Qatar, because he's staying at some posh resort.
Of course. Yeah.
And he is trying to talk about the racism of America with respect to George Floyd. Okay. This is literally happening. And so I don't even know. This is propaganda. This is what it looks like. He is trying directly to speak to Black Americans to get them to join the BLM Palestinian cause. And it's so gross. And I'll read the captions for people who might be listening and not watching. I want to take this opportunity to remember the racist murder of George Floyd. George Floyd was killed as a result of a racist ideology held by some people.
Oh my God.
The same type of racism that killed George Floyd is being used by Israel against the Palestinians. That happened, you guys.
Can you believe this guy?
What?
I know. So this is
what?
It's his way of trying to go, hey, black people, come join our cause. Because terrorists will just envelop you. Come on. It's great over here. The water's warm. Come on in. Hey, we're terrorists. Come on. And you know what? There's a lot of Black people out there that are like, oh yeah, BLM. Yeah, fight the power. Like, it's great. Like, okay, I'll go ahead and side with terrorists. Oh my God.
Right? And the fact that he is talking about racism or bigotry against anybody else is just like, what is even happening?
Dude, you want to kill all Jews.
I wish, I don't know what she said back to him. I have no idea, but man, I would have loved for her to go, do you see how that might be a little hypocritical?
Yeah, she probably didn't, because she's probably like, if I make it out of this alive, it's going to be great.
Right.
Seriously,
Exactly.
Like the fact that a woman sat down and talked to him for an interview is I mean, that's just, it's even alarming to me at all.
Yeah.
Like that even happening. That she wasn't covered from head to toe.
Right.
I mean,
It
that
was
was
extraordinary.
Crazy. Really?
Andrea Cleaver, thank you so much. Andrea says, I love you chicks and listen every morning. Ben Shapiro has also been an excellent source of news and info for this war. He is uber smart. I have learned so much. Thank you so much, Andrea. Thank you for even like putting us in that same category.
Yeah, that was very sweet.
Jonathan Conricus, who is the IDF spokesman, has more patience than I can possibly fathom, because he constantly gets these ridiculous questions from all of these journalists, and this one is in particular from Sky News, where they're like, yeah, so you didn't blow up the hospital, but don't you see how you're still at fault for like so many things? It's amazing the kinds of questions he takes and the patience with which he answers them, but also gets little digs in. It's a thing of beauty. Watch.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus from Israel's Defense Forces. A very good evening to you, and thank you for joining us so late in the day. We've seen your evidence then on that hospital explosion in Gaza. Do you accept, though, that those people would not have been sheltering in the vicinity of a hospital like this if you hadn't bombed them out of their homes?
Oh, my God.
I think your question is very unfair. And we could go back and ask, had they not been there if Hamas hadn't launched a murderous attack on our civilians and butchered 1,000 civilians and raped women and mutilated bodies of Israeli civilians and taken almost 200 hostage? Where should we start?
Yeah. I would have been like, Jane, you ignorant slut. I swear, these people. Who are these?
It's incredible.
Oh my God. WTF.
And he's like, he did not. His expression didn't change. His tone didn't change. I would have been like screaming at her.
He's awesome. Like, he's the perfect spokesperson. The perfect
he really
one.
is.
Yeah, because like, you and I both would have been screaming at her. I would have actually said, Jane, you ignorant slut.
Unfortunately, you guys, the fact that RFK Jr. is in this race as an independent is looking, according to recent polls, like it's going to hurt Trump the most. And in fact, in a three-way contest, now with Kennedy added in, it's showing that that Biden will win easily over Trump and Kennedy. So there was an article that was making all the news rounds. I think this one was from Yahoo specifically. It says third-party candidate RFK is on track to push President Joe Biden to an easy victory over Donald Trump, according to new polls. This is it's not a polls. I know polls schmoles, right? You take them with a grain of salt, but it's worth mentioning. This is an NPR PBS NewsHour Marist national poll. Biden would beat Trump by 7 when Kennedy is factored in. And he is siphoning off more Republican votes than Democrat votes away from Biden. Despite how upside down the world is, it's just not looking good having him in the race as an independent.
So people are saying, don't believe the polls. Shame on you.
I know, whatever.
Okay, but here's the thing. I got some pushback on that. I'm going to push back on you. And the reason I'm going to push back is because, wait, so when Trump gets on a stage and he says, I'm kicking Biden's ass in the polls, do you say that to Trump? I'm curious because you're okay with him believing the polls. So pick a lane. Am I supposed to not believe the polls? And he is? Because I'm confused because I want to believe him when it comes to the polls, but you're telling me not to believe the polls. So who's supposed to believe the polls? Tell me. I'll wait over here. I need to understand these things because I usually don't believe polls, but he's telling me to believe the polls. Somebody tell me what to believe. I don't know what to believe.
I mean, I think that this is I think it's absolutely right. Like, I think that there's plenty of people, and it'll be both sides. He'll pull Democrats too. There's plenty of people who just hate both of these parties so much, and they're looking for an out. They're looking for another lane to drive in that isn't Democrat, that isn't Republican, and that isn't batshit like a Cornel West or Cenk Uygur or whatever. They want somebody that seems at least somewhat aligned. And on vaccines, on medical freedom, RFK has been very, very strong. And that's something that Trump has not been strong in. So it makes sense that he would be pulling Republicans to his side about that.
I think all polls are BS. All of them. I think they're all BS, as evidenced by the fact that, you know, Hillary was doing better. Right. Hillary was doing better than Trump in the polls. You know, I mean, like,
much better.
Like, exactly. Like Obama was tanking in the polls at one time. I mean, like, I think polls are just crap altogether, which is why I think that Trump needs to stop saying I'm doing great in the polls.
Yeah.
He needs to stop getting up on stages and saying that he's kicking everybody's butts in the polls.
It'll be curious to, and I don't know if Trump I didn't look to see if Trump has responded to this, you know, to this RFK entrance as an independent. I would assume that he's going to start attacking him. I mean, that's usually what Trump does when he feels threatened. But I think right now they're still, you know, just putting all their ire on DeSantis. I will say that I think if DeSantis were the nominee, it would be less of an issue because the independents and the people who are sick of Trump, they would easily, I think, vote for DeSantis. But that's not going to happen. I just don't see DeSantis pulling this out. I think it is going to be Trump no matter what.
It'll be Trump.
So we'll see. But that's a thing that we need to be watching. Meantime, Kamala is back with some more Venn diagrams, and nobody thinks that Kamala is more hilarious than Kamala.
So here's one thing I'm going to share about myself. I'm kind of a geek. So to that extent, one of the things I love are Venn diagrams.
Oh my God. When was this?
I love Venn diagrams.
This is a new one.
So the three, you could pull out a Venn diagram to help you with anything that looks like it's in conflict, right? So a Venn diagram.
She just won't stop, you guys. She won't stop, can't stop.
I mean, it's like her people have got to be telling her, stop with the Venn diagram crap.
Right?
Stop it.
Unburden us with the Venn diagrams.
I cannot with it.
Unburden us.
It's just nonstop. She's completely insane. These people are caricatures of real people.
They really are. They're
just not
incredible.
Real people.
And lastly, before we get to whack, well, a couple things. There was a video that was going around Twitter yesterday of a recent college graduate who's having trouble finding employment, and she's making a lot of money, actually, I guess, waitressing. And so she's mad about the fact that she's making more money waitressing than the offers she's getting for some entry-level marketing jobs because she got a degree in marketing. And she apparently was expecting that she would make $150,000 to $200,000 as an initial salary after graduating from college. You cannot make this up. Look at this.
I have a bone to pick with America. So I'm headed to my serving job. I fucking hate it.
Oh my God.
I fucking hate it. Tell me why I make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt, and I make more serving sushi rolls. Because I've been applying to marketing jobs fucking for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. Insane. But the jobs that are like a cute 150 to 200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience! I need to relax.
I can't stand her. I cannot stand her. I mean, I'm not going to even lie.
Do people not understand entry-level jobs anymore?
No,
Do they not know that you have to work your way up?
Nope.
Wow.
No. Nice top, by the way. You serve sushi in that? Good Lord. Does she have a mother? Oh my God. Oh my God. You were in HR. Would you have hired her? I swear I would have been like, first of all, cut down on the coffee. You need to maybe back off on the caffeine a little bit. All right.
Wow. But this is the privilege and entitlement of today's college grads.
She wants $150,000 to $200,000 a year out of college.
With no experience, just with her degree.
These kids are high. I mean, you guys remember what you did. You remember all the stuff that you did and how you worked 3 jobs. I mean, you
hustled.
Yeah, we worked 3 jobs until what? Like, I don't know, 2 seconds ago. Right. I'm 52. I cannot with her. She needs to just take all the seats. And what kind of car was she driving?
Ooh, good question. I didn't notice. I'm sure if I showed it to my husband, he'd be like, well, based on the interior of the door, that is
pretty nice. It looked like a pretty nice car. And she had all the nice things. And I mean, mine barely had like doors on it. Give me a break. These people.
So ridiculous.
Spoiled brats.
How about you keep your sushi serving job and you work entry level in the day?
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Exactly how you do it. You work 2 jobs and you don't sleep.
Yeah.
And you're happy with it.
That's what you're supposed to do. Also, before we get to whack, I just had to share Billie Eilish's new back tattoo because you guys, what the hell is this? What is that? What is that?
That's an open wound, is what it is.
That's what it looks like.
Looks like
I don't understand what this is supposed to be.
I don't know. She's trying to make a statement. She's going to have all the regrets one day.
Oh my God.
It's not okay.
I mean, granted, this looks like it, like right after it was done. And so it's not maybe been cleaned up and it's kind of bloody and gross. But what is it supposed to be?
I don't know. Did she say? Did she say what it's supposed to be?
No, she just showed it without commentary. And like her followers went completely ballistic. They were saying the most hilarious things. I have to show you some of here's the top of it when it's finished. Again, I don't know.
I don't either.
What it's supposed to be, but everybody was like, what the hell? I love this one. Me tracing the lines of my desk in middle school when I'm bored.
So true. That is not okay. Yeah, I think she's insufferable too. I'm not a fan.
Wow.
I'm not
anyway,
I don't really like I know other people really like her music. I've never liked Billie Eilish.
I love her music accidentally.
Not a fan. Just not a fan. And just her in general. Not a fan.
All right, now it is really time for your whack.
Okay, my whack. So NASA plans to move Americans to the moon by 2040. You guys, that's not that far away.
How is this going to work in just that short of a period of time?
I don't know. Nikki Werkheiser, who's the director of technology maturation at NASA, said that we're at a pivotal moment, and in some ways it feels like a dream sequence. But they're saying by 2040, Americans could be living on the moon despite skeptics' doubts. Okay, so there's a mission called Artemis. They're going to send 4 humans to orbit the moon in November 2024, followed by the first humans landing on the moon in more than half a century a year later. So they say they have all the right people together at the right time with a common goal, which is why I think we'll get there, said Werkheiser. Everybody is so ready to take the step together. So if we get our capabilities developed, there's no reason it's not possible for people to start living on the moon by 2040. This is what's happening. And there's a company in Texas called Icon, and they're building buildings that are like 3D printed with the help of this company. And they've begun printing homes, and they've received more than $57 million in funding. Eventually, they hope to bring or build a printer to operate on the moon and further human colonization. Because they said, this is like the guy, the interim dean of Texas A&M School of Architecture. He said, there's no Home Depot up there. And so they've partnered with NASA to create robots, exactly, to help build the lunar shelter. So you either have to know how to use what's up there or send everything that you need. And so they're going to start building stuff. But I say we send all the illegals up there.
And prisons. I think we should build prisons up there, and that's where people should go to prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or just maybe we could get a divorce from the Democrats, and the Democrats could go live on the moon.
That would also be fine.
We could do that. But isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? I would not want to live on the moon. But they're going to find a way to tax it.
They'll tax it. There'll be taxation on the moon.
They will. The government's going to be like finding a way to tax it. They're going to tax the crap out of the moon. Anybody who lives there. Insane, you guys.
That's nuts. 2040. That's just really not that long away, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not that long away.
Yeah.
A couple thank yous to give out. Stuart the Brit says, does anyone other than I think that they are being played? That was at 8:40 that you sent that. And so that was like 12 minutes ago. And I don't know what we were talking about at that point.
Either.
Same for Robin Zecca. Thank you. Robin says, maybe she just sucks. And I don't know who she's talking about either. That was at 8:47. Maybe
it could be us.
The marketing girl. Maybe it was the marketing girl.
Oh, the marketing girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she does just suck.
What a baby.
Lori Ween says, I've been in HR for 25 years and I'm just now breaking 50 grand a year. The kids today have no concept.
Absolutely.
No concept.
And you know what? That's partially the parents' fault.
Yeah.
Because I'm very open, and I talk to my 13-year-old. We talk to all of our kids about that, but we talk to our 13-year-old she'll be like, Mom, what does this person make? What is that? We're very blunt with her. That's what this is like, what this person makes and what this person makes. And I'll tell her, and then I'm like, so that's your expectation there. And you're not going to be living in this house.
Right, exactly. Or if you are, you're going to be paying rent.
Right.
So get ready.
Mm-hmm.
Alexandra, thank you. Alexandra says, I just got a second job so that I can speed up my move to Idaho. Dave Ramsey always advises to work when in debt. Maybe she should tune in to his show. Yeah, that would be a good start. And Andrea Cleaver, thank you. She says, I own my own business and Biden just demoted me and cut my salary at 47 years old. Bidenomics. Oh, sister. Yeah. We hear that. All right, let's get into some My Pillow Toks. But first, remind you that you can save 50% off the My Pillow 2.0 version. That's the one with the temperature controlling, temperature regulating, high-tech threads. That is so amazing. So the My Pillow original, amazing. My Pillow 2.0 just kicks it up a notch and adds that temperature regulating technology. You can get 50% off right now when you use code CHICKS at mypillow.com/chicks. First of all, completely the most precious thing ever.
Oh my God.
Cuddleroo. Have you ever in your life seen anything more? I just can't.
Oh my God. I want to be where that kid is.
I know, it looks so cozy.
I just want to be right there.
Oh my God, so precious.
Mm-hmm.
This is an ingenious way to shoo a mouse out of your house.
That looks like it's a lot of work.
Look at its little path.
Oh my gosh. That took some time.
Right?
Oh my gosh. How long did it take to set that up?
I don't know, but that was perfect, right? Unless
Yeah,
the
it
mouse
was.
would have gone out and just like climbed right over it first
or
case.
jumped. Yeah.
But that's the way to do it. Also, you're gonna love this dog who wants to eat the end of a coffee table so bad. So cute.
Oh my gosh. But it tastes so good, Mom.
What are you doing?
It tastes.
Why are you doing that?
Because it tastes so good, Mom. I really. Oh my God. It's not a chew toy? It's not? I really want to eat it. It's so good.
I love the first comment that said, I'm not going to do it. I'm just thinking about
I'm
it.
just thinking about doing it.
If I had a tiny itsy bitsy dog and I was moving where I'm moving next to a pond that has alligators in it, I would consider doing this. I really would. Now, my dogs are too big, but this is a brilliant tactic to fight against possible predators.
Please go potty. Look, it's for your own good. It's so you
Oh
don't get eaten by
my
a coyote
God.
or a hawk. Please go potty.
He's so mad.
He's like, Mom, all my friends are totally laughing at me. I'm like, what is he dressed as grass?
Well, yeah, because actually she's trying to prevent hawks from coming down and swooping to get him, or coyotes. So they want him to look like grass.
I still feel like they'll do it. Hawks are really smart. Hawks are going to be like, yeah, I see that costume.
I'm just going to sweep the leg. I'm just going to go for the leg.
I'm going to go straight for the head, man. God.
Also, the smash face dogs that scream.
The pugs.
I can't.
It's a
Calm
pug.
down. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
He's working it up.
Forky. Forky.
Oh my God, I love it. They all have to be named Frank, all of them, because of Men in Black. They all have to be named Frank.
Oh my God, that dog is just ridiculous.
I love him.
Ridiculous. Also, I don't know if you knew that cats have zoomies.
I did not know that. Oh my gosh. I was unaware of this.
Yeah. They have zoomies.
Like all the time? Or is it just like a once a month
as
thing?
often as dogs. They get zoomies kind of like dogs do.
Coda
They just
gets
happen.
zoomies like once a day. He gets the zoomies, and you have to
Yeah.
he moves the furniture. It's bad.
My girls get them together, and so they just go on a tear together, like
And you
around the
gotta
living room.
Watch out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you don't want to get in their way because they have blockheads. They will take you out.
Right. I love it.
And then lastly, not animal related, but people out in our audience who have OCD or OCD tendencies might just relate to the precautions that this woman takes.
I'm documenting this so I don't have a panic attack and have to drive home. Each of these are off. See? They're all pointed up. The air fryer is not even plugged in, okay? And it's far away so it can't plug itself in. And so is the wax burner. The flat iron is also unplugged. To be fair, you don't even use a flat iron. And those are also unplugged so they don't randomly cause a fire, even though I don't even think that they would do that, but they might. So they're unplugged. Just come back over here to make sure they didn't randomly just turn on while I went into the other room.
Oh my God.
We're good. Stove is still off. Air fryer is still unplugged. So is the wax burner. Right. We should be good to go on this long drive. I'm going to check the stove one more time.
That's so funny. My daughter will text me from school. She'll be like, Mom, did I turn off my hair straightener? And I mean, this happens 2-3 times a week. She has complete OCD when it comes to that.
Really?
And, yeah. And I'm like, honey, yes. And at this point, I don't even check because I just know. I mean, I just know it's off. I mean, she just has OCD. I mean, she just wants to know that she's not going to burn the house down. It's fine. It's off, And then every day it's like, like in my swim bag, do I have this, and this? She's methodical. She's very organized, this kid. And like, did I pack this? Every day she packs all the things. She just wants to make sure, she is that video just as a 13-year-old kid.
The only thing I ever do it with is, did the garage close all the way? Like I have a thing about leaving.
Yeah.
If I drive away, then sometimes I'll be like,
yeah,
I needed to watch it close all the way to make sure.
Yeah,
but
I have to do that too.
I don't worry about stuff on the inside, really.
Yeah, but you don't have cows that get into your garage. I have cows that will get into my garage.
We just have birds. Freaking birds are back, man.
They are. I'm so glad.
Well, I don't know if it's the same birds.
Carl's coming back, you guys. It's Carl. Hey, Carl.
I'm just like, why? Just go build your own. They're lazy. That's what it is. They're freaking lazy, entitled Gen Y birds.
Yeah, it's that girl.
Or Z or whatever.
It's that marketing degree girl coming back as a bird.
That's why I don't like them, because they want to take advantage of the fact that we have like the giant furniture moving blankets. You know what I'm talking about? Those thick, and that's where they want to hang out. They want to build their little nests in there. They just want to. They don't even want to build anything. They just want to get into the crevices.
They want to hang out there. Blankets. Yeah, those are great. Those
anyway,
really great. Do I need to go get Astrid? I need to get Astrid. Talk amongst
Yes.
yourselves for 1 minute.
And thank you to everybody, by the way, who noticed earlier that my brows were done. I did get the brows done yesterday. They are very thick and very dark, and they'll calm down, I promise. But right now they're like day one brows.
Astrid.
Oh wait, let me begin.
Astrid, where are you?
Come on.
Astrid, where are you?
Come on.
Astrid.
Like she can't hear me, but
I don't know where she is. Oh, there she is. There
okay,
she is.
she's coming.
On. Oh, she was so sleepy.
Oh my gosh.
You were taking a nap. Yes. Okay. Oh, there it is.
She's so good.
You're so good. She understands the assignment. She does. Okay. So we hugged. We already hugged.
Oh, I didn't do that.
We already brought it in. We brought it in. Oh, she just burped in my face. That was very unladylike.
Go dig. Dig your hole. Is she going to
Go
dig?
back and dig to China. You guys, I came in. You probably can't see it, but there's literally a Sprite box destroyed in my office. That was a gift from Coda. This is my life. I know you guys are jealous of my glamorous life. Everybody have a fantastic. You okay back
Is she
there?
digging?
She's digging.
Oh my
She's
gosh,
digging
I
to
love
China.
it.
Everybody have a fantastic Thursday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.